就咗啦。好，歡迎。
Welcome to the press conference for the 2026 population census. Let me introduce the panelists. Sitting in the middle is Mr. Liu Yu, Commissioner for Census and Statistics. On his right is Ms. Sharon Ng, Assistant Commissioner for Census and Statistics Social, and on the other side is Ms. Carly Lai, Senior Statistician, Census Planning. Before we start, let's watch a clip. The model will be revamped. Information will be streamlined. The workflow will also be simplified. The coverage will be more comprehensive. We need your participation. Please support the 2026 census.
And Charlotte have big news. From 2026, the mode of population census gets major updates. Every 5 years, only 1 in 10 households is selected to do the survey. Data collection will run all year. More admin data are used to simplify the questionnaire.
Census data help make city planning and development better. And more comprehensive.
So, your participation is important. Let's support the 2026 population census.
好，而家
Mr. Yu will first speak in Cantonese and then English on the details of the census. Afterwards, another colleague will present the attire of our enumerators. Then we will be question and answer session. Mr. Yu. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the press conference. I will give you information about the Population Census 2026, covering re-engineered design, census details, and data collection. The purpose of the census is to collect up-to-date benchmark information, including information on socio-economic characteristics and geographical distribution of the Hong Kong population. This will provide important statistics for future development. The information will help the government in planning and formulating policy, as well as planning for facilities territory-wide. On the other hand, academics and private information will also use the information collected in census in setting their business strategy. Before I give you the details, I would like to first give you some background information of census in Hong Kong. Starting from 1961, a census is conducted once every 10 years. In between, there will be bi-census. In the past, the census uses a short questionnaire covering majority of the population. Long questionnaire will be used on the remainder of the population. Using the last census in 2021 as an example, 90% of households use short questionnaires, whereas the remaining 10% have to answer long-form questionnaire. In bi-census, there will be detailed interview using a long-form questionnaire on a fraction of the population. We want to re-engineer the design to reduce the onus of response, as well as to reduce operational risk and cost of the project. Starting from 2026, the Census and Statistics Department, CNSD, will introduce re-engineering design covering 3 major points. First, we'll use a similar method of selection as previous census. That is, once every 5 years, we will select 10% of households for detailed survey or inquiry. Remaining 90% of households do not have to fill in any questionnaires. Secondly, the period of information collection will be extended to 1 year from 1.5 months. Thirdly, we will more extensively use government administrative data to make the questionnaire simpler. Under the latest arrangement, between the 1st of January to the 31st of December 2026, the 2026 population census will be conducted covering 10% of the population in Hong Kong, that is about 300,000 households. Data collection will be spread out over one whole year instead of 1.5 months. However, selected households only have to fill in one questionnaire. Our census coverage will include people living in special residential facilities, say for example elderly people living in residential care home for the elderly, nursing home, or long-term guests in hotels and guest houses. In the 26 population census, we will collect information on different facets of the population in terms of social and economic characteristics. As I said, we'll also make extensive use of government administrative data to simplify the questionnaire. I'll give you details later. The data topics covered by this census are 6. First, demographic and social characteristics covering date of birth, gender, and place of birth. The second topic is educational characteristics covering school attendance and education attainment. The third topic is internal migration characteristics covering duration of residence in Hong Kong. The fourth one is economic characteristics covering industry, occupation, and salary. The fifth one is housing characteristics, covering types of accommodation, tenure of accommodation, mortgage, or rental expenses. The sixth one is household characteristics. For example, household size, the household member and relationship among the different household members. We have conducted extensive consultation to make sure that the data will meet our users.
In response to the evolving needs of society and feedback from data users, we have made adjustments to the data items for the 2026 population census. Firstly, the coverage of the data item on persons with long-term care needs has been extended from previously only including people aged 60 and above to now covering all people aged 15 and above. Information will be collected on their need for care in areas such as personal care, household activities, and community activities. This will help us better understand the demand for care services across different age groups. This is highly valuable for the government's planning of relevant facilities and policy formulation. Also, we will try to identify talent and imported workers who come to Hong Kong through various admission schemes. A new data item on place of origin has been added to collect information on the place of origin of Chinese respondents. From April to July this year, we conducted a small-scale trial survey to test the new questionnaire design. According to the results, respondents were able to answer the newly added questions. In addition, more comprehensive and frequent data sets are available, so the data item on means of transport to work and school has been removed. As I mentioned earlier, in the 2026 population census, we are going to make wider use of various types of government administrative data, such as public service records related to housing, social welfare, education, and water consumption, to replace certain questions and further streamline the questionnaire. The CNSD will not collect the ID card number of respondents, and we will only use the data as appropriate. We will not collect personal information. This approach will not only ease the response burden on respondents, but it will also enhance the overall quality of the data collected. We will also use anonymized administrative data obtained from the Immigration Department, including passenger movement records, births, death, visa, or entry permits, to compile accurate benchmark population figures and the age-sex structure of the population. In other words, We will no longer need to conduct short-form surveys for the majority of the population, but we can still obtain accurate benchmark population figures. We will adopt this approach to replace the short-form in full population census from 2031. This will significantly reduce the response burden on the public. In fact, for the 2026 population census, we will also use this new method to compile benchmark population figures. Compared with the previous practice, which relied on statistical estimates based on the by-census sample of about 10% of households, this approach will enhance the accuracy of the 2026 population census results. Households selected for sampling will receive notification letters in batches from the CNSD during 2026. They will be delivered in purple envelopes. The first batch of notification letters will be sent out progressively at the end of this month. When households receive the notification letter, whether you are the owner-occupier or a tenant of the residential unit, please follow the instructions and deadlines stated in the letter to complete the questionnaire. In general, households will have 1 month to submit the questionnaire. For households who have not yet activated the online questionnaire or have not responded, the CNSD will issue reminder letters to prompt submission of the questionnaire. Some households reside in units without a clear postal address, such as those in rural areas using communal mailboxes, where notification letters cannot be delivered. The department will arrange for census officers to deliver the notification letters in person. Completing the 2026 population census questionnaire is very convenient. We will adopt a multimodal data collection approach. Households may choose to complete the online questionnaire themselves or call the census hotline at 182026 for a telephone interview. For households that have not responded, census officers will visit in person to conduct face-to-face interviews using tablet computers. The online questionnaires for the 2026 population census are now ready. The public may start completing the questionnaire from the 1st of January next year. We encourage households to use the online questionnaires, as it is highly convenient, confidential, and environmentally friendly. Households can fill in the questionnaires anytime, anywhere, with a smartphone, desktop computer, or tablet with internet connection anytime they wish. I'd like to emphasize that online questionnaires are protected by a range of IT security measures to safeguard the personal data of respondents. All system tests conducted by independent consultants, including security risk assessment and audit and privacy impact assessments, have been completed. It has been confirmed that the online questionnaire meets the government's requirements for information security and privacy protection. After receiving the notification letter, households can either scan the QR code printed on the letter or enter the website address to access the online questionnaire system. Households can choose to set up an online questionnaire account using IamSmart, or just enter the mobile phone number or email address and complete the account setup with a one-time password. Afterwards, households can easily proceed to complete the questionnaires. We encourage households to use online questionnaires because they offer a lot of advantages. First, the system will automatically skip questions that aren't applicable based on the answers provided by the household. Each page also features an index button, allowing users to quickly navigate between different sections of the questionnaire in order to save reporting time. Second, households can click the I button next to each question anytime for supplementary information about the question. The system can instantly check the information provided, helping households to complete the questionnaire accurately and reducing the need for follow-up by census officers. Finally, the questionnaires can be completed in phases. Households may fill in part of the questionnaire first, and log in again later to finish the remaining sections. Different household members can also complete their respective parts of the questionnaire at different times and locations. In addition to using online questionnaires, households may also provide their information through a telephone interview. This is a convenient option especially for seniors. Households can call the Census hotline at 1-82026 to take part in a telephone interview. The Census hotline will be available from January to December 2026, Monday to Friday, excluding public holidays, from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. In addition to telephone interviews, the Census hotline provides a range of services. They include answering public inquiries about the 2026 population census, such as how to complete online questionnaires, allowing the public to verify the identity of census officers via 1-82026, enabling census officers to follow up with households regarding submitted questionnaire information through 1-82026, and allowing the public to schedule appointments for face-to-face interviews at a convenient time. For households who have made an appointment or have not yet responded, census officers will visit to conduct face-to-face interviews. I'd like to remind everyone that you can identify census officers by three main features when they visit you. 1. They will be wearing a gray vest uniform. 2. They will carry a census officer identity card. And 3. They will have a certificate of identity issued by the Census and Statistics Department. If necessary, households can call the Census hotline at 1-82026 to verify the identity of the census officer.
大家可以參考呢一頁嘅。
You can all see the grey vest uniform shown here. There is also a sample of the enumerator identity card. There is a purple hem and a zip on the uniform. On the top left, you'll find the logo of our department. On the identity card, you'll find the name and identity card of the census officer for identity verification. We will ask our colleagues to demonstrate the uniform. The officers, census officers, will also bring with them a certificate of identity issued by the CNSD. On this certificate, you will find the name and identity card number of the census officer. In addition, it will also state that the officer has been authorized to conduct the 2026 census. Now I will move on to the census legislation. This census is conducted under Section 9 of the Census and Statistics Ordinance. Under this ordinance, all sampled households are obliged to provide the required information to the CNSD. The CNSD will endeavor to secure privacy of the data collected. The information will not be provided to unauthorized organizations. The information collected will be used only for compilation of statistics and not for any other purposes. On or before the 31st of December 2027, the completed questionnaires will all be destroyed to further protect privacy of the households. In order to enhance the accuracy of information, we will conduct verification. In relation to cases with questions, we will ask our census officers to liaise with the households. The reference date of the 2026 census is the middle of the year. We will select households who have supplied information in the first half of the year to verify whether there is any change in the information. These households will receive another notification letter. If there is any information change, households may also take the initiative to call 1-82026 to provide the latest information. Information protection is very important. We have to alert the public to guard against scammers. These are some tips. First, you will have to first make sure whether you are a selected household, that is, the 10% household selected in the census. Sampled household will receive notification letter in a purple envelope. Unless households have contacted the CNSD and left their contact information such as telephone number and email addresses, the government will not call or send any text messages to households. When the CNSD calls households, the caller ID will start with 18 followed by 2026. There will not be a plus sign before the number. In relation to SMSs, the sender ID is #CNSD. Households should guard against bogus letter, email, SMSs, and telephone calls. The CNSD will not ask households to provide passwords through emails, telephone calls, or SMSs. Unless we have received requests from the interviewees, we will not send out any emails or SMSs with a hyperlink. The 2026 census will not require households to provide identity card number, bank account, as well as a credit card information on top of other sensitive information. Please remember that unless it is the 2026 online questionnaire website, please do not provide information anywhere else. If in doubt, call the hotline 182026. You may also call the 24-hour hotline operated by the Anti-Deception Coordination Center of the Police 18222. If you'd like to have more information about the 2026 census, please scan the QR code on the screen, browse the website or the dedicated YouTube channel. You can also find the information on a dedicated website on linking of the CNSD. The information collected in the census is very important for Hong Kong's future development. I ask all selected or sampled households to give us their full support to provide accurate information to support the census. That's the end of my presentation.
Points in English. The Census and Statistics Department will conduct the 2020 population census from 1st of January to 31st of December in 2026. The census helps the government understand Hong Kong's demographic and socio-economic characteristics by providing vital statistics for future planning and development. As a major step to modernize the mode of Hong Kong's population censuses, we will implement several re-engineering initiatives with a view to streamlining and improving workflows. Firstly, every 5 years, we will randomly select only 10% of households in Hong Kong for detailed inquiry. The remaining 19% of households will not be required to fill out any questionnaire. In addition, data collection will be conducted throughout the year instead of concentrated within 1.5 months as in the past. Sampled households are only required to submit one questionnaire within the data collection period. Last but not least, government administrative data will be used more extensively to simplify the content of the questionnaire. We will issue notification letters in purple envelopes to about 10% of households in Hong Kong. They are encouraged to complete the online questionnaire They can also call the census hotline at 182026 to conduct a telephone interview. Census officers will also visit households with outstanding response and assist them in completing the questionnaire. Information collected in the census will be kept in strict confidence. We remind households to be aware of scamming activities. Households will not be required to provide in the census their Hong Kong ID card numbers or information about their bank accounts or credit cards. Please support the 2026 population census. Thank you.
為咗令大家更
To help you better understand the attire and equipment of census officers, we have two colleagues donning the attire, carrying the equipment. We will hear a presentation by Mr. Yu.
Thank you. They are our census officers from the CNSD. They are wearing a gray vest uniform. You can see there is a purple trimming along the zipper of the vest. On the uniform, there is a logo of the CNSD. When they discharge duties, they will bring together with them their identity card issued by the CNSD as well as the certificate. The certificate of census officers sets out the name of the census officer. It sets out the fact that the department authorizes these officers to discharge duties. They will also bring together with them tablet computers to collect information. We're going to conduct publicity such as posters, APIs, to help the public to identify our census officers. Information will be included in our APIs and promotional materials. Thank you, Mr. Yu. Perhaps we can take more photos. Let's take some pictures.
好，可以望望後邊。好，咁啊。
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Yu. Thank you, colleagues. Now the floor is open for questions. Please identify your media outlet before you speak. Any questions? Thank you. The lady in black. Thank you. I'm from Now TV. You are going to implement a new approach. There will be fewer households to be surveyed. There will also be a longer period of time. The administration suggests using online questionnaires in relation to resources, time, money. Are you going to successfully cut costs and resources? And you're going to use government administrative data in relation to the collection of data Is it similar to the practice used in the past, or will it be more comprehensive? Is it going to be better? You also said that you are going to identify imported workers and talent admitted to Hong Kong under the labor importation schemes. You said you would identify. Is it because there will be difficulty? What kind of particulars are you going to collect? How are you going to use these pieces of information? Thank you. Let me take the second and the third questions, and I'm going to ask Ms. Sharon Ng to take the first question on resources. Regarding methods, the period of data collection has been extended, but the method stays similar. Just now we went over some adjustments, and I'm not going to repeat these adjustments. In relation to imported workers, this is the first time we try to collect information about them. We try to identify these category of people in our population. In the questionnaires, we can collect the information and then we can analyze information provided by them. Then we can collect more socio-economic characteristics. This is our first attempt. We believe it is highly likely that we will succeed. So what is the use of such information? Well, they live in Hong Kong as well. So their information is just exactly the same as that who were born and raised in Hong Kong. We collect information about their education qualifications, academic qualifications, occupation, and so on. Then we'll have a better picture of our population. We will also have a better grasp of this category of people in Hong Kong as they form part of our population as well. Regarding resources, I'm going to ask Ms. Sharon Ng to respond to you. In 2026 population census, the total expenditure stands at $550 million on manpower, operation, rent. The figure stands at about $370 million. Comparing with the by-census conducted in 2016, after we have taken into account inflation and the relevant adjustments, the figure has only gone up by 3%. The number of households has gone up by over 10%. So we have been able to use fewer manpower. This is a new method, and the data collection period is going to spread over the entire year. So we have managed to save a lot of manpower required. We don't need to have any outreach centers. Thank you. The lady at the back. Thank you. I'm from Cable TV. I'd like to ask about TTPS, Top Talent Pass scheme. The successful renewal ratio, it's about 50%. As they move in and out of Hong Kong, will it cause any inaccuracy in the figures collected regarding Wang Fuk Court fire in Tai Po? Are you going to make any adjustments in the population census? You said you wouldn't need as many centers and census officers, so what exactly are the figures? Thank you. Regarding your first question, that is talent and imported workers entering Hong Kong under different schemes. Of course, we're going to cover all of them in our census, and the point is how we identify them. In our small-scale test survey, we have successfully identified them, so we aren't worried about accuracy. In conducting the population census, we focus on information at a certain static point. Regarding Wang Fuk Court in Tai Po, it is an exceptional case, and we will not collect samples regarding Wangford Court. But rest assured, we will try to project the figures with reliable resources and sources. We have administrative data such as water usage from the WSD. So regarding different units, we have different measures in place to project the figures. There wouldn't be much of a significant impact on the findings of the population census. Regarding the third question, in the past, we needed to engage temporary outreach workers. In the previous 2 population censuses, we needed to engage over 7,000 staffers. But in 2026, we're going to use a new method, so we only need to engage 200 NCSC enumerators to conduct the population census. Thank you.
男士
The gentleman with glasses at the back. I'm from RTHK. A follow-up question on the new data that is in relation to talents and workers as well as place of origin of Chinese people. What do you aim to do with the additional information collected? What aspects, what do you want to show in the census? Regarding talents and workers, the population is replenished through births and migrants. We want to find out more about the migrants. We want to have a better understanding of this group of people. This is the first time when we try to collect additional information on this group of people to make our census more comprehensive. Place of origin is actually an existing question. It's only an extension from the ethnicity. In the past, to a question of ethnicity, the question will stop at, say, for example, when you answer Chinese. But now we want to get more information. The information is useful for our understanding of the overall structure of society. For certain groups, they would like to find out how many people there are that belong to this particular group. The information will be useful. Next question. The gentleman in a checked shirt. I'm from Mingpao. How do you ensure that administrative data is up to date? If you use administrative data, what will be the impact? In the past, administrative data was not used. What's the reason of using this set of data? Is it because of some kind of restructuring or any other reasons? When we use administrative data, we will check with public bodies and government departments to make sure that the information is up to date. The reference date is the middle of the year, so we will focus on the data in the middle of the year. We will try to match the information in the administrative data with the information collected from census. In this way, there is no need to ask for further information. In terms of finer details, administrative data may be more accurate. Say, for example, salary, government subsidy. The answers from households may not be able to give us full and detailed information. We want to use administrative data because information is more comprehensive and accurate now. That's why we want to make more extensive use of such information in this census. Any other questions? The lady with glasses and wearing a black top. I'm from commercial radio. It says that in the tests, well, migrants and talents are successfully identified. What information did you use to identify them? I would also like to ask, in relation to the Wang Fuk Court fire, the people who have been affected, will they be excluded from the sampling? We use statistical questions to identify them. Say, for example, when did you come to Hong Kong? Were you born here? And for those who are not born here, then we will ask how they came to Hong Kong. We use the information to identify, say, certain immigration schemes. Regarding Wang Fuk Court, please bear in mind that we use households in residential complexes as the basis of a sampling. We will select 10% of the households. Households from Wang Fuk Court might have been selected. If they have been selected, then they will be excluded. Next question. And the gentleman in glasses.
Why has the department decided only about 10% of households will be required to fill in the questionnaire? And how surveying just 10% households still provide a reliable and representative statistics for a study? Secondly, can you explain the purpose of changing data topics such as talents and imported laborers and places of origin? Thank you.
Okay, we select about 10% of households or quarters, living quarters within Hong Kong as the samples of the population census. In fact, there is, from statistical points of view, there is no need to have a full census to have very accurate, estimates for the required statistics. About 10% will be a very large sample indeed. So the accuracy will be quite high in terms of what we call coefficient of correlation. Coefficient of variations, a statistical measure that we use to measure whether the statistics is accurate or not. So 10% will be quite fine and actually very large. We care about the absolute number of the case included in the sample, which is 300,000 household within Hong Kong, which is a large, very large sample. In terms of second question is the reason why
10% can provide reliable statistics.
Okay. About the second question is about the inclusion of the questions for ethnicity and the place of origin for Chinese people. As explained earlier in another question, the information will be very useful for us to understand the composition of the people in Hong Kong. Also, there are a number of societies, which is ethnic society. They also always want to know their potential members within the territory, so that they can better plan for their services, and they can also mobilize their members to help the economy and the society. So that's the reason why we include information about this.
粉藍色衫嗰位女士。
你好，我 TVB 嘅，想請
I'm from TVB. After you've collected the data, will you be able to analyze the additional burden on education and healthcare from incoming population? Census will provide information on demographic, education attainment, and other areas. Census is not a stand-alone exercise. When we have obtained the data will be used for further purposes. We'll be able to, say, for example, project population growth and changes. This also serves as a sound foundation for planning by different departments, say, on education, development, healthcare, social welfare, etc. So the data forms an important basis for further work to be conducted by government departments. Any other questions? That will be the end of the press conference. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.